When I tell you that pain is not permission to quit, I need you to really hear it, feel it, believe it. Because somewhere along the way, we started treating pain like it was a stop sign, like the moment life gets heavy, the moment things get uncomfortable, the moment your chest tightens or your mind gets tired, you think that means I should turn around. But if you knew what pain really meant, if you understood what it was trying to shape inside of you, you'd stop running from it and start leaning into it. Pain is proof that you're still in the fight. It's the evidence that you haven't surrendered. It's the signal that you're touching the very edge of your potential. You're not breaking, you're stretching, and stretching never feels good, but it's the only way your capacity grows. There are people out here who think struggle is a punishment, but the truth is, struggle is the birthplace of strength. You can't develop endurance without resistance. You can't develop courage without fear pressing against you. You can't build discipline without something trying to pull you off track. That pressure you feel is not the universe trying to crush you. It's trying to carve you. It's removing the version of you that settles, the version of you that gives up too easily, the version of you that lets excuses sound like reasons. Pain is peeling away the layers that don't belong to your destiny, layer by layer, challenge by challenge, moment by moment. And I get it. I know how tempting it is to stop. When you're tired, it feels like quitting would give you relief. When life has hit you back to back, you start wondering if pushing forward even matters. But what you're feeling in those moments is the price of transformation. You cannot pray for greatness and then run from the grind that creates it. You cannot ask for strength and then complain about the weight. You cannot desire a higher level while clinging to the comfort of the old one. If it's painful, it's because you're shedding something that was keeping you average. Some of you are waiting for things to get easier before you commit. You're waiting for your emotions to line up, for your schedule to open up, for your situation to magically smooth out. But growth doesn't happen in ease, it happens in friction. The reason you keep getting knocked down isn't because you're weak. It's because you're being conditioned for a level you haven't reached yet. Every time you decide to take one more step, even with bruised emotions and tired bones, you're teaching your mind that quitting is not an option you entertain. You've got to stop seeing pain as the enemy and start seeing it as the instructor. Pain is the coach that pushes you when you want to stop. Pain is the voice that tells you there's more in you. Pain is the force that prepares you for the places you're going, not the place you're in. You don't get diamonds without pressure. You don't get muscles without tearing. And you don't get destiny without discomfort. So don't misinterpret what you're feeling. The pain you're carrying right now is not a sign to sit down. It's a sign to stand up stronger. Because on the other side of this stretch is the version of you that you've been praying for, working for, believing for. And the only way to meet that version is to keep walking through the fire, even when everything in you wants to turn back. Keep pushing. Your breakthrough is built inside the pain. When I say you must keep moving no matter what, I'm not giving you some motivational slogan. I'm giving you survival instructions. Because life is going to test you in ways that won't make sense. There will be seasons where you feel like everything you built is falling apart, where the people you trusted walk away, where the doors you thought were guaranteed suddenly slam shut. And in those moments, you're going to feel like stopping. You're going to feel like maybe the dream wasn't meant for you. But that's the lie, because the truth is, momentum doesn't come from motivation. It comes from motion. The reason you must keep moving is because stopping in the storm doesn't protect you. It traps you. There were times in my own life where I thought the pain was permanent. You ever been there, where the disappointment hits so hard it steals the wind from your chest, where the silence from the world feels louder than the noise? where you're grinding, giving everything you've got, and still the results don't show up the way you expected. And you start thinking, why am I even trying? Why keep going if nothing's changing? But that's the trick. The change is happening, you just can't see it yet. Roots grow underground long before you ever see a tree break the soil. Your progress is hidden before it becomes visible. But if you stop moving, the seed never gets the chance to grow. Sometimes momentum starts with the smallest step. You don't have to run every day. Some days you crawl. Some days you drag yourself from one moment to the next. But hear me, forward is forward. Progress is progress, no matter how slow. The key is that you don't let the weight of the moment convince you to quit. Don't let temporary emotions make permanent decisions. You are stronger than the feelings trying to drown you. You are bigger than the fear whispering in your ear. You are tougher than the doubt trying to blur your vision. When you keep moving, even without clarity, even without motivation, even without applause, something powerful happens. Your spirit starts to develop endurance. Your mind starts to learn resilience. Your heart starts to build courage. Movement creates the momentum that carries you through the days when your strength isn't enough. Movement is what makes the dream believe you're serious about it. Too many people lose battles they were built to win simply because they stopped one step too early. They stopped praying one day too soon, stopped grinding 1 hour too soon, stopped believing one moment before the breakthrough hit. Don't let that be you. I don't care if your legs shake, if your voice cracks, if your tears fall, keep moving. Just keep moving when everything in you says quit. That's when you take one more step, and when you can't take a step, you lean forward. Anything but backwards, anything but still, because movement keeps the dream alive. And as long as the dream is alive, you are unstoppable. When I tell you to build a standard you refuse to break, I'm talking about creating a version of yourself that doesn't negotiate with weakness, a version of yourself that doesn't fold every time life applies pressure. Because the truth is, everybody wants success, everybody wants elevation, everybody wants the next level, but only a few have standards strong enough to sustain it. And if you don't set the standard, life will set it for you. And trust me, life's standard is always lower than your potential. You ever notice how easy it is to let yourself slide? You tell yourself you'll wake up early, but when the alarm rings, you talk yourself into 5 more minutes. You say you're done with excuses, but the moment difficulty shows up, you craft a brand new one. You vow to stay disciplined, but the second that old comfort calls your name, you pick it up. And here's the problem. You think those moments don't matter. You think they're small, insignificant, invisible. But those little broken promises become your character. They become the story you tell yourself about yourself. And that story becomes your destiny. See, champions aren't built on talent. Champions are built on standards. There's a reason the greats look unstoppable. They're not perfect. They're consistent. They have rules for themselves they do not break. Not because they feel like keeping them every day, but because they know breaking them is how mediocrity sneaks in. Greatness is not stolen, it's surrendered, and you surrender it one compromise at a time. You have to get to the point where you say, this is who I am now, this is how I operate, these are my non-negotiables. Because without non-negotiables, your life becomes negotiable. Your dreams become negotiable, your time becomes negotiable, your purpose becomes negotiable. And people, distractions, habits, they start bargaining with your potential like it's on clearance. You need a standard so high that even on your worst day, you don't drop below the level most people never reach on their best day. A standard that forces you to rise, not retreat. A standard that doesn't ask for your comfort, only your commitment. And once you create that standard, your life starts aligning. Your discipline strengthens. Your vision sharpens. Your purpose becomes louder than your excuses. But understand this, it won't be easy. Your old self will fight back. Your old habits will beg to return. Your mind will try to take the shortcut. But you can't afford shortcuts when you're building something eternal. You can't afford loopholes when you're chasing a legacy. You can't afford weakness when your future is depending on your discipline. One day you will wake up and realize the life you're living is the result of the standards you upheld when nobody was watching. Because the truth is, nobody becomes unstoppable by accident. You become unstoppable when you build a standard that refuses to break. That's the moment everything changes. There comes a moment in your life when you have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, nobody is coming to save me, nobody is coming to push me, nobody is coming to drag me to greatness. And that's the moment you finally get dangerous. Because when you stop depending on cheerleaders, when you stop waiting for validation, when you stop needing somebody to clap for you, that's when you learn what real power feels like. You realize everything you've been waiting for is already inside you. It just needed you to take responsibility for igniting it. People love to say they want success, but they are still waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, the perfect environment. But here's the truth most people don't want to hear. The only guarantee you'll ever get is the responsibility you take for your own life. If you move, things move. If you stop, everything stops. If you push, the world eventually pushes back with results. Your consistency becomes your engine. Your discipline becomes your fuel. Your accountability becomes your steering wheel. And your excuses, those are the potholes you keep driving into every time you refuse to take control. When you finally take responsibility, you start to understand that life doesn't owe you anything, but it will give you everything you're willing to work for. And that's why this point matters so much, because too many people are blaming circumstances, blaming childhood, blaming the job, blaming the people around them, but blame never built anything. Blame never changed anything. Blame never created greatness. The moment you point the finger outward, you give away your power. Responsibility is not punishment, it's freedom. It's you saying, if my life is in my hands, then nothing and no one can stop me. And once you embrace that, you start showing up differently. You stop operating like a victim and start operating like a creator. You stop seeing obstacles as reasons to quit and start seeing them as opportunities to grow. You stop running from challenges and you start running through them. Taking responsibility also means being honest with yourself, brutally honest. You can't elevate while lying to yourself about the work you're not doing. You can't evolve while pretending you're giving 100% when you know you're only giving 40%. You can't transform if you're still negotiating with the same weaknesses you said you were done with. You have to call yourself out. You have to demand more from yourself than anyone else could ever demand from you. Because when you do that, something incredible happens. Life starts responding. Doors start opening. Opportunities start appearing. Not because you got lucky, but because responsibility put you in position. It sharpened you. It matured you. It made you unstoppable. It made you reliable to your own future. And once you taste that level of ownership, you never go back. You never again wait for someone to push you, motivate you, inspire you, or rescue you. You become your own engine, your own fire, your own force. Because at the end of the day, the life you want begins the moment you take responsibility for creating it.